Right, folks, welcome back. You're watching Cape Rugby TV here on Cape Town TV, DSTV 263. Just before the break, we were talking about some of the results in a Super League A, and of course, what we are seeing though, Renzo, let's quickly go to this. We're seeing some games here that are close games, and then we're seeing some games where there are bigger margins. For example, Brackenfell Hamiltons, there's almost a 30-point margin there. We look at the Helderburg game, Durbel to Helderburg, Morgs, more than a 20-point margin. Stellenbosch St. George's, almost 40 points a margin. But then we start seeing UCT Milnerton, it's only 2 points. UWC Helderburg, it's only 7 points. So are we in those results starting to see the difference between the top part of the log and the bottom part of the log, or is it too early to say?
Personally, I think it's probably too early to say. Over the weekend, conditions were tough. So, if I look at the results, I think, Hamilton's played the conditions better, bigger pack, came there with maybe a better game plan in those conditions in that muddy field. And then you look at a guy, Stellenbosch St. George's, in that conditions to concede 52 points, St. George's really need to go back and go, you need to look at our defense. Because all you're doing there, if you have no possession of the ball, you're tackling.
So you don't put that at the hands of things like weather and bad timing. It's
I wouldn't read too deeply into it right now. I feel like it's still four or 5 games in. Teams are still finding their feet. Again, we've spoken about it at length.
Well, I don't know. Any team found their feet at Brackenfell over the weekend, but okay.
Yeah, we know that.
Renzo, your thoughts just on this picture that we're looking at of these big margins and small margins? Because when I look at small margins like that, that's what I'm expecting in Super League B and C.
Also, I have to come in there with Morgs. Is also, if you look at the teams at small margins, I think if you look at the packs, it's probably the same size packs that's playing. Like Falls Bay, Van der Stel, both of them got big packs. And obviously when it started raining, that's where you're going to. Okay. So it was definitely SK Holma, Skulls over UWC, Helderburg. It's the team sizes is the same for me, to put it that way. So when it starts raining, you're not going to run the ball wide. Yeah. You're going to keep it tight. And I think that's the reason for those scores to be that.
All right, well, you guys are going to have an opportunity now to take a look at it firsthand. Right, folks, we go to our first game. This is UWC Helderburg. Folks, there you go. It's halftime there. UWC Helderburg. Morgs, thoughts on that before we take a look at the second half?
Yeah, we spoke about the rain. What rain, firstly?
Yeah. Good timing.
Was it? Good timing, good timing. But this is a very interesting result for me. I know we're only talking about the first half here, but it did look pretty even at halftime. I thought both teams had a little bit of possession here and there. A big Helderburg pack ran quite hard. We thought they would have softened the UWC side up, but obviously in the second half they kept coming.
Morgs, do you think it's a question of for UWC, they got some of their players coming back now?
Morgs?
Renzel?
Did I open a can of worms here now?
we looked
I'm not like so buff, but yeah, I'll take that any day.
I mean, we've got some of the Varsity Cup and Varsity Shield guys that have maybe now...
Yeah, I think most of the guys coming back, they started integrating the guys with the non-playing squad, to put it that way. But I think with these guys coming back, it gives a little bit of strength to the team. So yeah, for them, doing well in that first half.
Well, let's see how they do then in the second half. Here we go, final half, UWC Helderburg. Final result for UWC, 24-17 win over Helderburg. Morgan Newman, this is an important result for both for UWC because it's going to add up later in the league.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we were talking very highly about Helderburg. I mean, they started really, really well this season. And I think this is a big result for UWC, to be fair. This will stand them in good stead. I mean, getting results like this nice and early on really does put them sort of, get that confidence going, the belief that they can beat teams above them. And I'm quite confident about UWC because I've always said there's something about UWC that if they just get it right, I think they really can be contenders. The same we've seen with UCT and Marties across the league over many years. I think with the pool of talent that UWC have, they're going to be a real danger in Super League.
All right, folks, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll move to UCT and Unimore. We'll stay with the universities for a little bit. Back in a sec.